Welcome to your Saturday morning show on TVC News Nigeria, The Platform. My name is Sam Omashe. I promise you an interesting time on the program today. President Muhammadu Buhari's health kept Nigerians talking throughout the week, and I'm here to also talk about him and, of course, other issues in the polity. Let's begin with an excerpt from my article published in the Nation newspaper entitled Domiciliary President. We are today at a loss to define the state of the presidency. But more worrying, we are in a fog on the state of the president's health. Is he asleep? Is someone administering an injection? What sort of chemical? Blue, red, green, thick, light, aphrodisiac, soporific, analgesic? Or is he asleep buried in a soft, seductive row of pillows? Or is he buried in a pile of files? It is now a presidency that tasks the imagination. We cannot see him. We therefore imagine him. We imagine him in a sitting room, on a sofa. Is he having breakfast or lunch? Is he able to eat like other people? Does he remember, or has he obliterated the other room? It is sad that we as citizens cannot vouch for the state of the man who presides over our lives. Is he fit to decide where the army should go or whether there is an army? Is he strong enough to determine whether he is strong enough? All we know is that the president does not attend Federal Executive Council, FEC, does not have to see his cabinet. It is instructive that the president has a few images in public. The most potent we have seen of late are pious. He appeared in the last 2 Fridays, but one at loss of he appeared last one too. He was clad for God, erect for God, smiling with diminutive Kaduna State Governor El-Rufai for God. Of course, we see him follow the rites of worship. I was about to characterize him as His Worshipful Excellency, a homage to T.M. Aluko's novel His Worshipful Majesty. But last Friday, the mosque did not see his holy shadow. So, he is more domiciliary than worshipful. Many leaders want to hide their illnesses. They do so not because it humanizes them. Rather, it makes them less so. We are living with a president who embraces the good of democracy but not its demands of transparency. He is a Democrat when he wins an election, a feudal lord when it is time to give account. His wife said he was captive to a cabal of power grabbers around him. Now he is hostage to a fragility of health. This is a new definition of presidential double jeopardy. Perhaps that is why the president wants to stay at home. This cabal rejects the prospect of not having Buhari see the files. They want him there to sign the files. He probably did not do that when he was out of the loop in Nigeria House in London. But how long will he conceal his condition? The United States leaders concealed before the communication age. No leader can do that now. So it pays this country if the president either works or resigns. He cannot be at once homey and home alone. In the news this week,
President Muhammadu Buhari's state of health has continued to dominate our national discourse. There appears to be a dark cloud that shrouds the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. There are rife speculations that President Buhari is very sick. But Aisha Buhari tells us that her husband's illness is not as bad as it is widely reported. Lai Mohammed, the government spokesperson, also says the president must go slow on national matters in strict compliance with his doctor's advice.
It's absolutely untrue that he's being fed. He was in the office yesterday, as you all reported. And if the doctor says, oh, take a rest, I think you will recover faster when you rest when you ought to rest rather than by forcing yourself to work when you are not fit to work.
Femi Falana and some other members of the civil society has advised the president to take a medical leave. Some has even urged the president to resign. Chief Bisi Akonde believes the country's health depends on the president's state of health and wants us to pray for Mr. President. There are even more speculations that the meeting of retired military generals in Minna, Niger State, is connected with the president's health and finding a way out of this desperate situation.
Well, those are very important news developments. I would say that all of this point to one thing, that nobody knows how the president feels or what the doctor has said about the president. We need transparency on this subject, and until we have real transparency of this subject, people are going to try to fill in the gaps. It's not good for us, it's not good for the presidency, it's not good for the fate of our democracy.
The May Day Workers' Rally in Abuja was a barometer to gauge the workers' anger against government. Minister of Labour and Productivity Chris Ngige was at the receiving end of the workers' indignation. Indeed, workers in Nigeria have endured tough times. Inflation is at double digits. Pump price of petrol has since shot up. Labour unions have become polarized and can no longer put workers' welfare first. The cost of living is very high, but their minimum wage remains the same, 18,000 naira.
I am not ready to listen to Labour. They've been deducting my money from January to February. They have nothing to show for it. Welcome, Adams Oshomole, show his face today. A man of people. You could see how the whole civil servant went after him. The present Labour are mass. They are nothing but bunch of disappointment.
They should increase the salary. Everything in this country is too tough. We cannot bear it again. We fasted them before, but now they have failed us. We are no longer supporting them.
Even those people that retired 2016, they have not received their gratuity up to till now. So what are we saying? We don't need to celebrate any workers' day. Even up to we are saying now, every salary is not being paid.
The politicians are exploiting us. We are the owner of Nigeria. We are few. We are few in this country. We are the civil servants. We are the one that is making Nigeria to work. We are the one that is making this nation to work. The politicians are thieves. All our politicians are thieves.
That itself is full of smoke. It shows that there's a lot of anger in the land. They have asked for 56,000 naira as minimum wage. But wait, where are we going to get this money to pay when we can't pay 18,000? Most states cannot pay salary. Things are very serious. We cannot just say that we can wish 56,000 naira as minimum wage and then bring it into existence. It doesn't happen that easily. But one thing is clear. There's a lot of rage in the land, a lot of hunger, and a need for active engagement with the people. And a new and sudden answer is necessary, or else things might get worse.
There has been so much foot dragging by the Nigerian Senate towards the passage of the 2017 appropriation bill. Another week has ended and the senators cannot still pass the appropriation bill for the president's assent. This means the 2016 fiscal year has ended. It also means that the government is now technically shut down.
Annual budget is expected to actually roll into such kind of a plan, right? So annual budget is a yearly component of whatever growth plan which you are having. So that by next year, what we did not actually achieve within the growth plan this year, we do it in the next budget. But when 4 months has gone, and then, I don't know, it's confusing.
We need budget laws. The laws that will put timelines on when the budget must arrive at the National Assembly and leave National Assembly.
The Senate has given some trivial reasons why the passage of the budget was delayed, but one thing appears very clear. These senators don't care about us. They will explore all avenues to frustrate the executive at the detriment of Nigerians.
What do you say? The president cannot even talk in public. The Senate cannot act on its budget. The people are angry on the streets that they cannot eat and that they want 56,000 naira as minimum wage. What is going on? On the right and on the left, there is paralysis. Something has to be done. The Senate cannot hold the budget to May 2017, where we have about 7 months left at the end of the year for a 12-month budget. It doesn't say anything sensible about us. Something, in other words, any idea that has been put forth this year does not have any role to play until that budget comes into being. We are still working on 2016 budget. That is not progress. That is not democracy. And I bear to say that is not change. Now, still to come on the program is an interesting conversation I had with the former Third Republic Senator Anthony Adefuye on several issues in Nigeria.
Let all of us pray for this, Mr. President. Even if it is just these 4 years, that God will give us and let this man clean the whole... and I think it will be good for all of us.
Nice.
And we are lucky in Nigeria that God also gave us a good vice president.
Yes.
Who has worked so hard, who has made things look as if it's normal.
Now, in everything happening in the politics, there is certainly room for comic relief. Here are two sketches on President Buhari's health. The first one is a conversation between a couple during a telecast of late night news. And it says, there's one here where the wife is probably going home with tea, and the husband is musing and says, Julie, do you think the president is sick or something? Then, of course, there's a newscaster who says, the special advisor has assured Nigerians that the president is hale and hearty and urged Nigerians to pray for the president. And the wife, also commenting, says, I don't think so, unless there is a medical condition called hale and hearty. This is from Asukwo on Business Day. That itself shows how absurd it is. I mean, you're filling the gap when there is really no information coming out. So you call the sickness hale and hearty. I can imagine what that means. Then the second one, we see the president being lifted out of a football pitch on a stretcher. You can see him there. You can see Jonathan, I think is the one at the back of the stretcher. You see Abdul Salami holding the, what do you call it, drip. The drip, and OBJ is the one carrying the stretcher on the other side. And Buhari has a football on his hip and still saying, look, I assure you guys, I can finish this game. You can see the backdrop of a football field there, which is also making a mockery of the whole idea of the illness. Well, that is it for the comic. Both are from Asukwo in Business Day. Beautiful cartoonist. Nigeria is not the only country where presidents have hidden their health status from the people. America is one of such. Nearly half the presidents in the nation's history have had significant illnesses or injuries while in office. George Washington had skin problem. Woodrow Wilson's heart was defective, and Ronald Reagan could not walk for more than an hour a day after his near-fatal wound from the assassination. Franklin Roosevelt was always on wheelchair, but no television exposed the polio-ridden handicapped man who led the world against Hitler. 8 United States presidents actually died in office. In Britain, wartime leader Winston Churchill suffered a stroke after a previous heart attack, becoming paralyzed on one side. It is believed he concluded cabinet meetings without his cabinet members noticing his illness. Presidents, like all of us, fall sick. Nigeria's bout with a sick president began about a decade ago with the death of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua in 2010. Now President Muhammadu Buhari is sick, and the nation is confronted with a president in absentia. America's 28th president, Woodrow Wilson, had a serious stroke in 1919 that ended his ability to run the country, and his wife, Edith, allegedly took over his work until his term ended in 1921. Here in Nigeria, when Turai Yar'Adua played the role of gatekeeper to her husband, Nigerians raised hell and suspected a cabal was running the country. It is not unusual to have a society is a secretly ill president, but this is different. While the British and the American public may have been comfortable with sick leaders supported by robust and credible institutions, Nigerians hold no such illusions. Again, those times that those things happened were in the past when there was no digital overwhelming presence. But today we have television, we have internet, and everybody knows everything. People did not know much in those days. So the situation is even worsened as no one has been told what the real illness is, what the doctor said, what tests were conducted, and what the diagnosis and prognosis are. What we are told is that he is convalescing, but from what illness? Yugoslavia's Josip Broz Tito, who ruled the country for 35 years, was not ashamed to be quoted when he told his doctors to cut off his sick leg. President Buhari's sickness seemed to be creating a political vacuum. He has missed multiple Federal Executive Council meetings and failed to attend May Day celebrations. He attended Jumat prayers this Friday, but May 29th, Democracy Day, is approaching, and only him can end the rumors about his health status. A bit of odd news. Since the whistleblower policy was instituted in Nigeria, huge sums of cash have been discovered in safes, boxes, locked up shops. But in Colombia, cash was found inside a woman. Well, a 30-year-old woman swallowed $7,000 in a bid to hide cash during a fight with her husband. Doctors surgically removed 57 pieces of $100 bills from the Colombian woman's stomach and intestines. The rest were passed through her colon. So where did this money come from? Was it proceeds of illicit transaction? The woman told local media that she saved up the money for a holiday with her husband after selling several electrical household items. Her doctor said the fact that the rolls were not wrapped up or packaged suggests they were not swallowed for any form of illicit transport. Rather, they believe she ingested them in an act of desperation. Next is the big talk. Welcoming Senator Tony Adefuye, who is a well-known politician and mainstay in Western Nigerian politics. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sure you have been following the story about the president's health. What is your take?
Well, I think at that age, he's just about 1 year older than me. I know how you feel when you are 74. You could be well this minute and be sick the next minute. All the bones are old. They can move and shift anytime. But having said that, I think this is one man that all Nigerians have prayed for. And I think they should continue to pray so that we live for all of us. Because what he is doing with this anti-corruption thing is unparalleled, and I don't see anywhere in the world where they have uncovered so much volume of money.
Yeah.
Hidden in private houses, hidden in toilets, hidden in soakaway pits,
yes,
and so on and so forth. Just ordinary mentioning his name, you know, is anti-corruption fight already. So we continue to pray for him so that he will get well, he will get strong, yes, and then come and help us the more.
About 3 or 4 consecutive Federal Executive Council meetings, he has been absent. And for you to be absent on such crucial situations is a reflection of something more than a little serious. So some Nigerians are asking, why is there no transparency on the president's health?
Well, I don't see what the transparency is about. He's sick, is sick. If you know the type of sickness, what are we going to do? Are we going to cure him? Are we doctors? He's sick, is sick. The democracy or the constitution has provided that if the president is sick, the vice president is there. It's a teamwork, and the vice president is doing his work. And he will not be the first president who will be sick and remain in office. 2 presidents in America, one had polio, one had heart problem, and they remain in office throughout. Even one a second term in office. So I think we are making too much noise about his health, and not that we are worried that he should get better. It's annoying that somebody will be doing so much work for us and will be saying, tell us what is wrong with you or get away from there, as if he's doing nothing. You know, I think that our language should be a little bit softer and better. That look, if you are still not unable to cope with this work, let your deputy act for you, take some rest. Not saying resign, 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 as if it's not worthy of that position. And I think the best president we've had so far since independence is this Buhari. You know, I think it's the best we've had so far. Because just the mentioning of the name Buhari can shift naira or dollars or whatever.
From the hiding places.
From the hiding places.
Yeah, you made a good point there. You said that there's supposed to be a team, but it is not envisaged that in the team, one should be weak and the other should be strong. I mean, in health. Both of them should be in good health. And apparently, the president is not in good health. What we don't know is he in bad enough health to continue to work? Because if the president does not even appear in public, are we having a hermit president?
Look, what do we benefit if he says this is what is worrying him? What do we benefit? What do we gain?
So if he's not able to walk,
yes,
why is he there?
No. He has not said he's not able to walk. Today, he appeared in the mosque.
Yeah.
You know, to rule Nigeria, you also need to pray. It's not just only hard work. You have to pray. That is very, very important in Nigeria. Let me be honest with you. When you come to office and you see the enormity of corruption,
yes,
you can fall sick. You know they don't show anything to us. If they show 50% of what the president sees, we shall all be sick. Because there are some ministries that just, all money embezzled. Highly placed people you believe are securing this country, and the whole money disappear at Bamus. Instead of using the banks, they put it in their houses. Even the banks who put it there, it's a basket. That is how bad we are in this country. Even when they show you and then you open the books to you, even if you are a young, healthy man, you can fall sick from what you see. Well, however, I want to say that he is a man, I believe that if he has any serious thing that can easily say, I'm not doing anymore. And if he says, I'm not doing anymore, are we going to beg him to continue to do it? Or are we going to say, okay, no. So that's why I'm saying we have to be very careful. And let nobody try to make mountain out of a molehill in this situation.
You said, what does it mean even if he's sick?
Yes.
But there's a sense that from day one, they have not been completely, I mean, the presidency and the president have not been completely upfront with the Nigerian people. He said he was going on a vacation, and then from vacation it became treatment, from treatment it became rest, and then suddenly he came to the country, and some people thought he was going to rest while he came. He said he was starting work, and then it was not business as usual. The sense is that, of some people, is that the president is just hanging to power when he knows that he doesn't have the mental and the physical wherewithal to do this job. He's doing this job merely by being there, by being propped there, by saying, okay, we know that this man is able to fight corruption, so let him just be there. Even if he's sick and he can't do anything, corruption can be going on.
No, I don't agree with you. The way he's working, does he work like somebody who's mentally sick? No.
We don't see him work.
But the country is moving.
Some people believe that he's the vice president that is doing a lot of the work, that is just there.
Look. The way the country is going, anybody knows that this country is going in the right direction. And this is the Mr. President. When he was going on leave, he quickly handed over to his vice.
Yes.
There was no begging. He said he will act. He did not even know he was going to stay so long. He said, I did not know I was so sick. I only went for normal checkup when they discovered that I was sick. And I have to obey the instruction of my doctor to rest. And that's why I took that rest.
Well,
and people are talking to us. People who are making a mountain out of a molehill. They have not told us that they went to him or they want to go to him, they could not see him. And there are people, I believe, who walk to him anytime, see him and appraise his health, and then come out and make a statement. Mr. President, I was with him, he couldn't even recognize me, he could not do this, and I think he should resign. People are just speculating.
What would you make of the statements that have been made by Soyinka, Baba Konde, and so on? They have been very, very strong in coming out and say, this man should be clear to us. I mean, fighting corruption is not only going to get money out. It's also being straight with the people you deal with. There are some people who believe that it is corrupt for you not to tell the people you are president of the truth about yourself. So that itself is an act of corruption. And maybe that is why some top people have been saying, Mr. President, what is the problem? Is it wrong? Even those people who have been sick in contemporary world, in the Western world, when people are sick, leaders are sick, they make it clear what the ailments are, because it is a time of transparency. I know you made mention of past American president like Roosevelt, who was there actually for the 4th term in office. He had polio. But the American people did not know. The media shielded him.
How do you know that? They don't know.
The people did not know. I know, as a history student, I knew. Most people did not know that he had polio because the pictures did not even show that he had polio. They never showed him walk because it was a pre-television era. They never showed him walk. They never showed him stand. In fact, the only time in history that some people recorded that history was during the Second World War, when he tried to impress his war room that this was a serious matter, and he stood for a second, but he came down. You know, but those are periods of concealment because it was a pre-digital age, it was a pre-television age. If you have that problem today in politics, even in the US or in Europe, it's going to be a different matter altogether. It means that you have to tell the people have to decide that given your polio, you can, because if you had polio, you are still mentally alert, you are still physically alert, you just can't walk.
Look, the way it is, the president has a doctor paid for with Nigerian money, and is that doctor who can make a statement. He's bound to make a statement. The National Assembly can invite him and say, tell us the status of president's health. And he's bound to tell them. Nobody has done that. Most people who are saying the president should tell us, they have the capacity, they have the power, they have the access to him. They have not said they went to him and he could not say anything. I have called some of those ministers with all this rumor, and they tell me, Tony, are we going to be working so much if we know our president is so sick? There's nothing. It's just going through normal medical.
They're working with the vice president. The vice president is giving them instructions. I don't know how many of them, I don't know if the ministers have gone to the president.
I want to.
So did they tell you they went to the president?
I want to tell you. I want to tell you one thing. I want to tell you one thing. One day I went to Aso, and I went and stood somewhere where I could see all of them come out. And when they came out, I did not see Mr. President. But I was watching their, I was trying to see if I will get any information and so on and so forth. Actually, I wanted to see one of them. But after a while, I came out and was saying, is the president not in the meeting? They said, no, he's not in the meeting. He just wants to take a rest and so on and so forth. That's how inquisitive I was. Yeah. To know if the president was well or not. But if I'm sick, should I be going in the street and say I'm sick, I'm sick? If I'm the head of the house, even when I'm sick, do I frighten the whole house by saying I'm sick, I'm sick? No, I want to get better. So there's no need to frighten my household because I am sick. My wife probably will know how deep the sickness is, but I don't need to frighten my children and my household that I am very sick. I will try as much as possible to run that household without, like there is no difference between me being well and between me being sick. And the president has done his best. There had been no problem in the executive. Usually, you take the time of Yaradua. Oh, there are members of the executive who were even racing to occupy the post of president, even when there was a vice president. If you remember, and the whole world had to say, look, if you know that Mr. President is not capable, let him give acting. Even acting, we were asking for that time to his vice, and they didn't give the acting. Eventually, the president died and the vice took over. But if he says this is what is wrong with me, there's nothing anybody can do to him. So it's not a big deal. Oh, I'm sick, oh, I have prostate. Oh, I'm sick, oh, I have this thing. But the fact remains that at 74, which one will you tell them? There are so many things wrong with you at the same time.
Yeah, if there are so many things wrong with you.
Which one will you tell them?
If there are so many things wrong with you, and you can live with them and do certain basic work with them, you can. Remember when he became president? It was flying everywhere. It was in China, it was in Europe, it was in the United States, it was virtually in the air. Now it cannot walk to the stadium. It cannot get to the stadium. No. There's a marked difference, don't you think?
when you are sick and you are not aware of that sickness, you are going. For just telling somebody, you have TB. Even if he was not coughing before, he will start coughing immediately, psychologically. If you tell somebody you have HIV. Even and you've been sitting, you will see the next day, he will not be able to come out again. He will say, hey, HIV.
Okay, if he says he's sick and he's not doing all of this work that we're expecting to do, why doesn't he go?
Are you sure he's not doing all of this work?
That's what they're saying.
Who's saying?
That's the sense we get. If you are not in your office, it means you are not working. I mean, the symbolism is very clear. If you are not in the office and you're not attending the most important meetings where the most important decisions are taken, then there must be something serious. So that's what is prompting people to say, some people like Falano and even showing counsel and saying, go on medical leave. So should he go on medical leave?
Look,
we cannot even make that decision, sir, if we don't know what is wrong.
Look, Buhari, Mr. President, is a very simple man. He lived a simple life. So if he knows that his life is in danger, he will go. No matter what you people say. The way I've seen him, he will go, he will not even care. He will want to save that life first so that he can help all of us. If he's saying he wants to remain there, then you know that it's not as serious as we imagine. ARIKAWE once said that all those ones who were arranging for his, who formed themselves into a committee for his burial, that they all died before him.
Yes.
You remember? He said
yes, all of them.
He said they all died before him. So don't let us take the issue of the president's health to as if we all wish him to die. No.
Yeah, some people are not saying so. Some people are saying
and for those who are wishing him to die, they don't even know that we have a very firm and stronger vice president. That's the mistake they're making.
Exactly. Now, the question is, if it's strong enough, some people have mentioned some things that an active Buhari will have been able to do. Look at the conflict going on between the DSS and the EFCC. And look at the problem with even getting the budget done. The budget has not been signed. This is May 2017. We don't have 2017.
If the budget is not signed, is that
and nothing has been done.
There's
no sense that, sir, that the presidential weight is being exercised in the democracy. It is just there on the floor of the Senate, and the Senate is just doing whatever it wants to do. In the presidential system, you see it in the US, the president will be seen to be putting the leverage of the presidency to bear on the. Look at what Trump has done with his bill on healthcare. He has gone once, two, three. Now he has gotten the bill on House of Rep. It was because of an active president putting the heat on the legislature. That's what they're saying.
Look, let me say this one to you. Mr. Trump, people are rioting now for that bill that was passed.
Yes.
If it were in America that the Senate president is being accused, he would have stepped down and do something else for that case to clear.
Exactly.
Here, the main decision of this government is fighting corruption. Here is a Senate president facing corruption charges. Here are quite a lot of people in that chambers facing corruption charges. It's like they are saying, well, you say we are corrupt, we are still your boss. If you don't settle us, then we are not going to pass the bill. It's there for Nigerian people to raise up to the fight. Here we are. Even those who are supposed to be, to guide us, to protect us, those who are in the military, in the Navy, in the Air Force, all of them, when you open their cupboard, it's full of maggots. You know, it's full of maggots. How do you want this president? I told you, even when Mr. President wants to work and he sees all these things, it can make him sick again.
Then it's not.
He can make him sick again.
Say that does not make him fit enough to work.
You know, you can make him sick again unless you want to join them.
So people feel that if that makes you sick, that means you are not fit to work.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. The situation is this: it's like an angel, you know, entering hell by mistake. What do you think will happen? what do you think will happen? An angel in hell. What do you think will happen?
Now, there's another issue here, which is that some people believe that this issue has been ethnicized.
Yes.
Do you believe that?
Well, you mentioned the other. You were saying you ethnicize it. You said Akonde.
Yes, I don't know. I was just talking about it.
You said Shoyinka,
yes.
And they are all from the West.
Yes,
so,
I've talked.
And the vice president is from the West. So what do you think people will assume?
Yes, that's what I was asking. You mean that Southwest has taken a position that the president should
Southwest
go on medical leave?
No. Southwest has not taken a position. You know, Southwest, even if it is our own child that needs to be cautioned, we caution him. We don't do.
But that is a stand.
We don't do. No, that's not our stand. That is the stand of those individuals. That's not our stand. Of course, because they are our leaders, yes, you could assume so. But they have not. That is the stand of those individuals saying that declare your health. No, yes. They are not saying that he should resign. They are not.
No, I'm talking about resign. Just invite.
But those who are making
transparency.
Those who are making it an issue are those who are already planning how to take over the presidency and bypass the vice president and do all those are the people whom I know are ethnicizing the damn thing, saying that look, it's our turn and we should continue that turn and so on and so forth. There is a constitution, and the constitution says what happens and so on and so forth. So that's why I'm saying don't hit the politics. Let things happen normally. Because if you begin to say we're a multi-ethnic society, so you have to be very, very careful. You have to say things that will make sure that you are a Nigerian leader and not
but clearly, sir, the thing has become ethnicized, as you see, because the northern groups have already said that what is going on is that some people are just trying to get rid of the president because he's a northerner. So it has become ethnicized, whether we like it or not.
Well, Yaradua was there. He was a northerner.
Yes.
As soon as he spent 2 years, he was sick and he died. Now this one too is a northerner. He's nearing 2 years now. If you were a northerner, wouldn't you say something is wrong?
No, but does that stop us from really addressing the truth, whether that's the case?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that let us leave ethnicity alone. Yeah. You know, people. This is a democracy. We are free to express.
That's what I mean. That shall we?
You know, there are a lot of people in the north too who have said that he should resign,
exactly.
Or who have said that he should hand over, and so on and so forth. So don't let us play ethnicity at all.
Yes, so if he is not well enough, do you think he should resign?
It's his decision. I cannot decide from that.
No, but for you, if you think, for the sake of this country.
You know, sometimes I wake up.
For the sake of this country, sir.
You know, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I don't feel like getting up.
Yes.
I don't feel
it's
like
not the same thing as not being well enough to carry out the task of over 150 million people.
No, I don't.
You have education, you have healthcare, you have infrastructure work to do, power.
Let me tell you why I don't believe it. I don't believe so. One, most of those things you have said, they have increased, you know, they have improved enormously, apart from power. Apart from power, that is still dangling. There have more roads have been built within these 2 years. Yeah. More hospitals have been built. Medicine, you know, life has become a little easier for those common people.
That is not what many people say on the street, sir.
No. Honestly, life has been easier.
We have had more suicides. At least more suicides and
more suicide from those who know that they will soon blow whistle on them.
The medical doctor or the woman, the woman who has nothing to do with government.
Let me say this. Anybody can be sick.
Yes, sir.
And it doesn't mean you are going to die.
We know.
Anybody can be sick.
Yes, sir.
Anybody, you can shield your illness if you don't want to tell anybody. There's nothing, there's no rule saying you must say so. The only person who can declare him unfit is his doctor, appointed by the Federal Republic of Nigeria to look after his health. He can come and say, look, this is my report on Mr. President. I don't think it's fit to continue.
No, finally, sir, do you think that his handlers have handled the matter very well? The issue of his health.
Who are they?
Buhari's handlers, his media team, his kitchen staff, and so on.
Well, I want to say something to you. I don't know how you even thought of me to come and speak about his health. I have spoken to Additional several times, asking for how good or how bad Mr. President is. And he's always assured me that Mr. President is in good health. Unless you are saying... The man
himself said he's not in good health.
Who?
Buhari himself said he's not in good health.
No, he's sick. That doesn't mean he's not in good health. Look, I am talking to you now. Yeah. I'm in good health. It doesn't mean I'm not sick. If I live here now, you know, old men, we do a lot of packaging. Packaging, that is the thing.
But if you are packable, if you are the one now, you cannot be packaged away from NEC, the way from FEC, the way you are now. You can stand a meeting at FEC for at least 2 hours, the way you are.
Well, 2 hours.
If it's packaging, then he cannot even package himself to be in FEC. That's what we're saying.
No. You know, I told you before, yes. He's an honest man. He will not, he will not package.
He will not package.
No. He will not package. That is the problem. He won't. But old men, they package like women. Packaging. That is the word.
Okay.
Some of us, we don't hear well. We use hearing aids. Some of us, most of the bones have collapsed. It's nerve problem. Yes. You can't sleep in the night. So most of the time, old people don't sleep in the night. They sleep for 2 hours, 3 hours, and in the day they now feel sleepy and so on and so forth. But what I just want to say here, let all of us pray for this, Mr. President. Even if it is just these 4 years, that God will give us, and let this man clean the whole... and I think it will be good for all of us. And we are lucky in Nigeria that God also gave us a good vice president who has worked so hard, who has made things look as if it's normal.
Yes.
He has made things look as if it's normal, not going around and looking for people to put pressure on him to resign and so on and so forth. You know, we must thank God for most nations, when they get into a crisis like this, they never get out of it.
Yes.
This is a big crisis, but because of the good people who are managing the thing, it's been turned to fairy tales. You can't say what this is. You can't. Nobody has come to. I spoke to a doctor about 2 weeks ago, and I said, "What do you think is wrong with that?" I said it must be asthma of the heart. I spoke to another one. I said it must be prostate. I spoke to another one. He said it must be cancer of the ENT, lungs, throat, and so on and so forth. So everybody is just guessing. Maybe that's why people are calling that. Let us know what is wrong with you, so that at least we can tell people that look, there is hope. You don't need to bother yourself. That the president can go on. Okay, somebody told me recently that a doctor that anybody above 40 has any man above 40 has prostate.
Yes.
You know, so you are just lucky if your own doesn't become cancerous.
Exactly. Okay, sir. On that prayerful note, I thank you for coming to the platform, and we'll see you next time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
My pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you for being part of the show today. Join me next week for another edition of the program. And until then, be good.